So last year, Tubi was up in their game quite a bit, and they had a few solid releases that were Tubi originals, like Low Lives and was Where the Devil Roams last year, or From the Addams Family, or was that 2 years ago? That's probably 2 years ago. Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that
two
was
years
two
ago.
years ago.
But they had quite a few
Yeah.
originals last year that I was quite into, and one of them that pretty much got overlooked by almost everybody was a movie called Invasive, and we gave it a pretty positive review. And I never really heard anyone talk about it again outside of maybe a couple friends of mine that I think was the one who got them to watch it. Um, and so it was very much a pretty contained story, and never did I think we would get a sequel to it.
Yeah.
So this not only was a surprise, but it was a big surprise because when you hear about something, you usually hear about it like as an announcement that it's getting made or that it's coming in a certain amount of time or what. And it was like when I heard about this, it had dropped just like that day or like that week, and that's
Yeah.
always a great way to find out about something because it's
Sure.
like, hey, no wait. So part two, the getaway.
Getaway, yeah.
So this does deal with the original character here, which it is a direct continuation. I was wondering if this was going to have anything to do with the original. Oh yes, very much so.
Definitely.
And we're following her and her father after the events of the first film, and they are doing a getaway. They have a vacation that her dad is taking her on. Now they have an estranged relationship that they are trying to mend with this trip. And when they get to this luxury resort on an island, things start to not add up. And yeah, of course, things go sideways, and it's a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same writer director as the
Yes.
first. This is the same actress as the first.
Yes.
So I was like pretty hopeful
Sure.
going in,
Oh yeah.
have after the quality of the first one. I
Yeah.
don't think the first one's amazing, but I think it is a very solid, enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
I thought this was horrendous. I was
Yeah.
shocked at the quality drop of this one. The writing, the acting, the everything. The concept, which was ripped straight out of "I Still Know What You Did Last Summer." I thought this was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. It was kind of a chore to sit through it,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
because it just was so predictable in like the worst kind of way.
yeah.
A very basic like concept and story. I didn't really like any of the new characters.
None.
I did like her father.
Yes.
I thought that I liked their dynamic. Like it is gimmicky and it is like kind of frustrating to watch her go back and forth with like being mad at her dad, but it's part of the personal, like, the drama of their characters. But I really did like him and I liked his performance. I thought he was pretty charming. So I'll say that. But the villains in this I did not like at all. I mean, he literally called one of the like reveals probably within
The
5 minutes,
second we
not
met
even, yeah,
them.
not even the second we meet, a person. And I didn't like any of that. I think that the um you know I like I understand like the idea is to go bigger, right, to have maybe more, more people involved and like a bigger area. But some of the stuff as far as like around the villain and like the motive, not the motivations, but like, what am I trying to say, like the practicality of it, like it doesn't make sense. It makes it
None.
really unbelievable when you know who this person is and like the tools and resources they would have at their disposal, and like it just feels very like,
Contrived.
yeah, it just is very unbelievable. So uh yeah, it was a disappointment.
As far as the father goes, I do think that he's written as charming, and I think that his performance. I just want to add this on. I just feel compelled to. I do find his performance to be fairly cheesy and
Mm,
almost like we're watching a like Hallmark Lifetime movie.
Mm.
So I don't want to say his performance is great, but it's the best thing in the
I just
film.
liked it.
No,
I liked
I
his
get what you're saying.
character.
It's very cheesy.
Yeah, it
It's
is
very
cheesy. It
cheesy.
is cheesy.
Like when they're learning how to
Paddleboard.
paddleboard
I
and
thought
stuff
it was
like that.
cute though.
It is very,
So,
very forced and like
aw.
obviously fake. And
Yeah.
it's okay. He's trying his best. And I all I can say is that this feels like an incredibly rushed production. I think the
Yeah.
first one did some decent numbers for Tubi, and they called up the director, and they were like, "We need another film by next year. Here's your deadline. Here's your window."
Yeah.
We got to interview the directors of Low Lives,
Yes.
and they had talked about the windows and the constraints, and
Hmm.
how on the fly they had to shoot things. And if one's successful, I'm sure that they're greenlighting a second and rushing it into production as fast as possible. So I don't want to put all of the blame. I don't know what happened. I'm
Sure. We're
just
just
trying
like,
to understand how you have such a tremendous quality dip from one to the next, because
yeah.
I feel like it's very obvious to me that the talent was there
Yeah.
and then is kind of stripped away
Hmm.
when you're on a deadline. When
Yeah.
someone's like, "We need a script tomorrow,"
Sure.
and so they're like, they probably watched I still know what you did last summer, like the day before, and took elements from that, and then probably saw some of Stream, that most recent
Mm.
slasher with David Howard Thornton, which I also hated. But this is like that mixed with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, minus the kills or gore, which I didn't even like the kills in that movie all that much, but the ones in this are non-existent. The characters are so dumb and so forced. The plot is just as tropey and predictable as you said, as humanly possible. It's just it really has no redeeming qualities to it. And as you had said, and this was like the thing I was pointing out with this whole gimmick of the like island
Mm.
resort, there's no purpose to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they don't even try. They have like a reason, but held under any
Yeah.
scrutiny. Like
It can
asking
easily
any
be
questions, you
any
just
other
go,
location, really. That's, an isolated location. Like that's the idea. But I think rushed is really the best way to describe it. Like I don't want to harp on it too much. I think, the main actress, I think she's talented. I think that it really
I
comes
do
down to the
too.
fact that the script feels like it needed more rewriting, because I see what was like what was going, like what the plan was, but I just think it could have been fine tuned more, with, and maybe with more time, kind of been perfected a bit. But yeah, I think that the location, like an island resort, like there's not even really a lot of focus on like the natural, like, I kind of thought, like there's a scene where the dad is asking if she wants to go snorkeling, and I thought like, oh, maybe we're gonna get like a snorkeling sequence, like to show some underwater stuff or something. There's not really anything relating to the, aside from like, the one paddleboard scene.
You just
um
had to
and
incorporate the ocean
I
into this
did. I did. That's
conversation.
like all I've had on my brain. So I was looking forward to that, but that doesn't
I
is
thought you were
not
gonna
a necessary
I thought
thing.
you were gonna say like I thought they were going to incorporate some of the new attributes that they had acquired to fight back. I thought
That
that's where you were rolling with it. Like, oh, the
also,
snorkeling was going to come in because they were going to be able to get away. But no, you literally just wanted to talk about the ocean.
the other thing I'll say, and this is probably like the last thing, because like I said, I don't want to harp on it too much, because I think, yeah, is that I really felt like with our main character, we don't spend enough time, like show, like there is an effort to show how the events of the first film have affected her, but I feel like everything in it that we see is very convenient.
Oh my
And I
God,
would have
yes.
liked to see, I would have liked more of an exploration as to like the PTSD of it all. I don't feel like the writing around her character gives her enough like opportunity emotionally. It's just very like cut and dry, like what you would expect. Like, okay, now she's X, Y, and Z. and she's going to check X, Y, and Z or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's kind of boring. Like I think there could have been more done there, but again, I feel like it's maybe because the script was rushed and everything was kind of, that too fast paced.
The first 40 minutes of this movie or so are just lazy dream sequence fake out after dream sequence fake out.
There's a lot of those.
And I hate dream sequence fake outs when they happen pretty much ever. One in a film pisses me off.
Yeah,
But
I know it does.
10?
There's a lot. And it is
God.
kind of like a cop out to be like, here's the mental state of our character, but there's a lot of things you can do to show the mental state of somebody.
Had we not reviewed the first film,
oh, if we had just watched this,
had we not had the channel,
yeah,
there's no way I would have sat through this.
No.
This was grueling.
Like I said, yeah, it was
I wanted
very
it
much
done
a chore.
in 15 minutes. I could feel, I was like, oh no. Like I was depressed. I was
Yeah.
actually, I felt bad for the film because I was watching it being like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going to go this direction. Like this is going to be that much of a drop in quality. Like, oh, I don't want to sit through this. This is embarrassing. Like I'm sad for this movie because the first one is solid. And I feel like this only hurts the first film.
Yeah.
This doesn't help it at all. It actually like hurts your experience because you like now have like a tainted memory towards it because you're like, oh, Invasive, and you're like, oh, Invasive too.
Yeah.
Which I try not to let that hurt. It's just like, this is such an unbelievably unnecessary addition.
It's a major downgrade. So we do recommend the first film, but we do not recommend this one. And I hope that,
you think?
like in the future, the director, like I'm curious to see what else happens, like
Absolutely.
with more time, because I do think the first one shows like a lot of talent and everything, in many aspects. But this one was a flop. So
Yeah. Keep at it. Don't let Tubi rush you.
Yeah.
That's clearly what happened here, and you just got to stick to your guns.
Come on, Tubi. Let artists have more time.
Come on. Like anyone would have cared if this like came out next year.
Yeah.
Right? Just give them a little longer or later in this year.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, sure. Like in October, well, closer to like Halloween time.
We're going to get a comment from someone who worked on this, and they were like, they gave us all the time we needed.
Oh,
This is exactly what we intended. We're going to be like, oh, oops.
If that's the case, then we're just not fans of this film. What can we say? We're trying to make excuses and be like, maybe this is what happened because we don't know anything about what happened to the production or anything.
I'm putting money on rush production.
Okay. Well, let us know. If you're watching this and you worked on the film, if you can let us know if the production was rushed and we're right.
They're too busy loading their gun and Googling where we live.
No. We have nothing against the people that worked on the film. We're just silly little reviewers. We watch a lot of movies and we just talk about our opinion on them. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.